each time God is ready to bring forth fruit, he demands sacrifices. You are separated from friends, separated from the things that are common, separated from the things that everybody does, and it's not wrong. The people that are doing it, they are Christians, but God has called you into separation. You can't do what they do, not because what they do is wrong, but because your separation for fruitfulness requires it. You can't talk the way they talk, because the separation requires it. You can't dress the way they dress, because your separation requires it. What's wrong with their dressing? There is nothing, but your separation requires that you can't be with the multitude. You can't talk like them, because your separation requires you can't be with the multitude. So you must understand your separation. You must understand the sacrifice of your fruits. That if these fruits, I must bring forth fruit upon, I must know the sacrifice. What is the sacrifice? What is the commitment? What am I expected to do? What will I do differently from what I've been doing? I can't be doing the same thing the same way and expect a different fruit. No, it doesn't happen. If I want a change, I must have the root change. Number 3, I must understand the season. David did not run in the cave of Adullam forever. After 13 years, the men of Saul came to David. He said, even when life is a mystery. They said, even when Saul was king, you are the one that is leading us out and bringing us in. Okay. They said that to David when Saul died. Why didn't they tell him when Saul was alive? When Saul was alive, they were with Saul. But when Saul died, they said, David, you know, even when the king Saul was around, you are the one actually that was leading us out. And he said, so why will you now be far from us? Come and be king over us. I say, so human beings have been human beings from the days of David. They were faithful to Saul, but after the death of Saul, there is someone here. Your men will find you. I can imagine those men that came to meet David. They were the one insulting David. I said, what is your problem? Why are you competing with the sitting king? And they will be telling, so don't worry, we'll deal with that guy. But when that guy died, then they turned and said, David, you have been you have been our person. Even when the king was there, you are still the one. It won't be forever. You won't root downward forever. But maximize the seasons. Understand the reason for the season. Because every season is meant to work something in your life. And there is a way you can go against the program of God that a season in your life stay for a longer period than expected. That season is meant to come for 6 months, to come for 1 year, and you were going contrary to the provision of that season. And a season of 1 year can last 3 years, can last 10 years. There are some of you, you were meant to leave a season after 6 years. But this is your 10th year, you are still in this season. Because you are fighting the comfort, the provision. Every season comes for a reason. Not all season will come with its goodies. But even when the season comes with the pain, it is to produce the gain through you. You must not fight the seasons of your journey. You must embrace those seasons to understand and master. Jesus will not be in the wilderness forever. After 40 days, he was tempted. And after the temptation, the Bible said the angels came and they ministered to him. Whatsoever you are passing through is for a season. The prophecy over your life is clearing. It says, strangers shall feed your flock. You will be the one to rebuild the waste places. You will come to a ruined place and it will come back to life. He said, your life will be a blessing to generation. That is who you are. It does not matter what a situation is saying. It does not matter what a circumstance is saying. The word of God has spelled your destiny. Anybody can say anything. If they tell you there's an essential cause, it is because there is an essential blessing. If they tell you the devil is working, it is because God is also working. So the devil is not the issue for me. I have the understanding of the word of the Lord, and I understand there are seasons of my routine. This season will come in different shades. It may not be one major season all through. So there's one season that will lead to another season. But Abraham could delay one season for 13 years. a season that should pass away for another season to come. He brought in disobedience someone with him. He said, leave your father's house, leave your mother's house. He said, well, Lord, in case I have to talk to someone, can I go with my cousin? And there are people who make bargain with God for their destiny, and they waste the season, the provision of the season. He said, God, you told me not to have friends, but can I just even have at least this one? And you can make a season drag. A season where you shouldn't have friends. A season where you should just invest in knowledge and just build yourself and just build yourself and just load yourself. Those seasons, you watch all the seasonal film. And a season that should last 1 year became 10 years. Jesus knew that the 40 days must not become 40 years. Because the children of Israel, they came into a season in their life and they were to be in the wilderness for 40 days because that season, I'm going to teach on that on the Bible study, the law of change. Because that season was to take something out of them, but they didn't cooperate with what the season could bring. And 40 days became 40 years. It will not be your own story. You will maximize your season. You will profit by your season.